Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Final Fantasy Wiki podcast, episode 358 over 2. This week, we are talking about the newest Final Fantasy game, Kingdom Hearts 3. Joining me this week is these people. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hello, my name is Vidax Nam Carl Sargenlock.
Yep.
My name is Zekhotten, I think.
Hi, my name is Zanua.
And I am your host, Cyrex. So everyone at the Final Fantasy Wiki has turned into Heartless.
Wait, yours is so cool. Wait, what? Why is yours so much better than everyone else's?
Because mine is just that cool. I'm just generally a cool person. Have you heard the way I talk?
It's true.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly cool. Also, if I go with my username, I guess I'm also Lubex.
See, that one's also great.
Yeah, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I've just been chosen for these things.
I mean, not everyone can be Vidaxanam Carl Sarlock, but
Look,
you know.
some of us get to be cool people, and some of us get to be demics.
Yeah, it happens. So, we haven't done a podcast in a very long time because, frankly, nothing's happened in the world of Final Fantasy. So,
yes.
Kingdom Hearts is the closest we got for a Final Fantasy thing, so we figured, hey, let's get the band back together in Yuanchosaan, and we'll go and do a podcast episode. So, what was the first thing on our itinerary? Okay, if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you don't know what Kingdom Hearts is, I don't know what universe you exist in, but let's just say, what is Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts to you?
Endless bullshit.
Endless bullshit. Yep, that sounds about right.
That actually applies to both series.
Okay, I think I can give something on this because I got into Kingdom Hearts pretty late. And I missed out on this series for quite a long time. And basically, what went on with that is like playing the Final Fantasy games a whole lot, and then like Kingdom Hearts was always in the background, so people would always bring up Kingdom Hearts, and I was always like, I looked at it, and I was one of those people. I was like, Disney, really? And I was like, this looks dumb. And everything I saw about it, I was like, this is dumb, this is stupid. Like, what is the point of this game? And then eventually, I was like, okay, I'm actually kind of curious how the combat system works. And
after you decided that you liked it.
I got into it.
Yeah, what was this, like 2 weeks ago you decided you liked it?
It was a couple months ago, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like a total turnaround after that. So like, Kingdom Hearts made me like Disney. But yeah, but like, I was going into it thinking this is dumb, but I really like it. So the easiest way to explain it is it's Final Fantasy and Disney crossover, but it works.
Yes, it does work. This is a confession, and there's multiple backstories to BlueHighwind now, but the one we're going with right now is that in 2004 I started playing Kingdom Hearts, and thanks to all the cameos of like Cloud and Squall and I guess Riku. No, not Riku. Titus. I guess Titus. That made me want to go and play the Final Fantasy games, and then I did. And then in 2007, I got trapped here, and I've lived here ever since. That's my backstory.
My confession is when I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, I played Final Fantasy VII, and then I got stuck on Rufus because I was too stupid to realize you could switch your materia between the helicopter fight and Rufus.
Oh, wait. So I just realized I got Riku mixed up with Selphie. That's who I was thinking of. But they're like the same character, so whatever.
Thankfully, she did not. Yeah, but then I didn't play any Final Fantasy games. Then I played Kingdom Hearts when I was like 2002, 2003, whenever it came out, and that game was great. And then I 100%ed that game and collected 99 of every item. It's good times.
You collected 99 Oraculum pluses?
Yes.
Look,
there are no Oraculum pluses in
it's a little known fact to everyone except for apparently me that Scave is actually like some kind of Kingdom Hearts savant. Like, watching him play Kingdom Hearts 1 is mildly frightening. He defeats bosses in like 30 seconds flat.
I'm really good at Kingdom Hearts 1. Anyway, yes. And if you can ask me any facts, I know the game inside and out. But yeah. So
Okay.
Yes,
you know.
it's disturbing. He like utters the lines to me sometime randomly during conversation. It's very disturbing.
Oh yeah, I
Okay.
have the whole game memorized.
All right. How many vines does Sora swing in Tarzan Land to get between two sections?
To get between two sections,
Yes. How many vines are there in total that Sora has to swing through?
you don't have to swing on any vines actually, if you don't want to.
Well,
You can
let's
just
say
climb
you
up past
want
them.
to. You don't want to jump on the hippos.
It's 4.
It's 4. Okay. I'm gonna take your word for it because I don't really remember. It's been a while.
It's 4.
It's
But
4?
yeah, you don't actually climb up any vine. You don't have to, but it's 4. I don't remember the vine swinging minigame itself, but it's 4 in the whole area. And there's a treasure chest in this middle of them, which has, I don't remember now because they switched around the items when they remade the game. And
I don't believe your claims now. We set up that you're some kind of Kingdom Hearts savant, and already you don't
well,
know things.
I tried. I
Yeah.
think it's like probably a potion or something. Who cares?
Okay. So I think everyone here are Kingdom Hearts fans, except for Techno, who's just a poser. But, you know.
Yeah, I think I might have actually played Kingdom Hearts before any of you then. Because I got it when I was in year 3, which would have been 2002, and that was when the game came out. I got it almost exactly on release. And I know this because my cousin was visiting from America and he only visits in December, and I was playing it with him, so I got it basically the month it came out.
I played it on release too, though.
I think I got it freshman year of high school, because I remember hearing kids talk about it, and then I'm like, you know what, maybe I should play that game. And then I did. And then we could repeat the story again, but I guess we don't need to.
No, wait, tell me the story again, please.
All right, the
Let's
story
continue
again.
to
All right, once upon a time, it was 2004. The Matrix trilogy was dominating the world. We were embroiled in what we didn't realize was going to be a long quagmire in Iraq. And I picked up a game called Kingdom Hearts 1 from the FYE. That's For Your Entertainment, a store that I don't think is there anymore in Jersey Gardens Mall in
I've
Jersey.
never even heard of that.
Yep. I also bought a PlayStation 2 that very night. And I plugged it into the TV in my living room, but then my parents said, no, you can't play it in the living room. Go play it in another room. So I had to move it.
Wow.
I think my uncle actually bought the game for himself, but he didn't actually play it, possibly because I monopolized it and the PlayStation 2. And it was the first game I played where I actually skipped breakfast to play the game, and I almost skipped lunch, but was forced to eat lunch.
You know what? I think I had to play the intro twice because I didn't buy any memory cards. I didn't realize that was a thing.
That's
Oh
tragic.
my god.
Yep.
I like the intro to me. The intro for the first 2 games is like the worst thing about this
Amazing.
game. And
It's
I know
amazing.
some people
You gotta love it.
genuinely
Perfect.
like it.
They're perfect.
Yes,
I
perfection.
hate it.
Yeah.
I hate
You're
it.
outnumbered.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, but I cannot wrap my head around liking it because it's like, imagine if you put in a game, right? You put in like, I don't know, a third-person shooter game or whatever it is. Yeah, you put in a game, and then the first thing you're greeted to is, congratulations on buying this game. Now play 10 matches of Tetris before you can play the actual game. It's
Wait
like,
a
what the
second.
fuck?
That sounds exactly like
You
Kingdom
see,
Hearts.
Wait a second.
you see, Techno, you're just giving away
fucking
how young you really are because that's how
Yeah.
games were
No,
back then.
I'm sorry.
You're just
Yeah.
a baby, Techno.
If I buy a game, right? If I purchase a game, the first thing I want to play is that game. I don't want to play fucking chores before I can get to the game.
No.
rock
What you
the
want to
whole
do
game.
is you want to go and hoard like cows and stuff in the starting
Yeah.
village for like 3 hours.
You do. Yes. Everyone loves. That's the best part of the Zelda game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was goats actually, but
I
yeah.
didn't
Yeah, I
play
don't
those
remember.
games. So.
But wait.
Anyway, we have strayed into a place here. I think what the purpose of this
Yeah, we-
podcast was Kingdom Hearts and its relation to Final Fantasy. But I guess first we should all talk about Kingdom Hearts 3 and what it has meant to us. So first off, we'll go with Scathe because his name is under mine on the list.
Oh yeah. See, I got that S
But I was
power.
trying to go last.
Anyway, so this game is really good. I'm the only one here who has actually finished the game, but I watched you and played the game, so I know what happens. But I'm on the final level. But the game's really good. It took like 14 years to be released or something, right?
Something like that, yeah. Originally, it
But
was called Final Fantasy Versus 13, but then it became Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, this is the game that has Stella in it. Are you excited? This is finally your dream game. Stella is in this game.
I don't really know if that was ever my dream, but I mean,
Well, that was like your biggest complaint against Final Fantasy 15, wasn't it?
my complaint is that Luna Freya sucks as a character,
It's true.
and I would have taken literally anyone else over her.
But no, the game is really really good. I have some minor nitpicks, of course, but I think overall it's, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, they're both, 10 out of 10 games, 5 out of 5 games, 7 out of 10 games if 7 is the highest in the 10-point scale.
So you would
All
give
those
it
things.
3 Kingdom Hearts out of 3.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Or give it 12 Kingdom Hearts games out of 3, or something like that, whatever game.
You give
number
it
the
7
games are.
lights out of 13 darknesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Techno, your name is next in the alphabet, so...
I want to go last.
No, your name's next in the alphabet, so you gotta go.
I want to go last.
Okay. Yuanchosaan, you can go.
Sure.
I admit defeat.
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 is kind of a miracle, honestly. Has there ever been a game which has like taken this long to come out and had this much hype and expectations behind it? And I was playing through it from the very start. I got the game and I sat down and I pointed this Skype camera from Scave at the television screen, and everything about it at the start was like, man, the main series Kingdom Hearts game is really a magical thing, and just the noises in the intro, I was filled with joy as a result of it. And as I kept playing the game, I was like, this is really bizarre. This game is actually good. I mean, this game is actually really, really good. And the joy of the fact that it's Kingdom Hearts and is actually good was almost as much as the joy of me playing the game, except not as much, because the fact is the game is really good, and that's amazing, guys. I think it's the best Kingdom Hearts game that has come out, period. Whether it's actually my favorite or not, I'm not sure. I have problems with the ending, but I think that doesn't detract the fact from this is, in fact, the best Kingdom Hearts game that's ever come out.
Okay, Techno, it's your turn.
Okay, that's fine. So I got into the series really late. So with that in mind, having played Kingdom Hearts 1, I won't take anything away from that game. That's a good game, but I can't play it personally. I don't enjoy it that much. Kingdom Hearts 2 I enjoy a whole lot. So with that in mind, I thought, alright, I'm probably going to like this about as much as Kingdom Hearts 2. Nope, I liked it a whole lot more than that. So like, Kingdom Hearts 2, I had a massive smile on my face when one particular scene happened, and that was the scene in the underworld when Hades is preparing someone else, and then it turns out Auron's there. I was like, oh yes, and I was so happy from that point onwards. Kingdom Hearts 3, I was that happy from the very start. Like, the game just fills you with joy, and there's just like, it's hard to describe it. It's just, the game made me happy at pretty much every moment, and like, there was maybe 1 or 2 bits where I was like, oh, this boss is kind of hard, this is taking a little bit long. But no, I loved it, like, from start to finish. I loved everything about it. And considering that I had previously disliked parts of the series that I ended up liking, so I used to hate Sora. I still hate Sora.
You hate everybody, though, is the thing.
I loved Sora.
Okay.
I loved Sora by the end of number 3. I still wish I was playing Aqua, but I loved Sora. But yeah, I loved pretty much everything about it. I loved the gameplay. The gameplay was top notch. The story, okay, it's a little bit messy, but you can't not love a story that makes you feel that emotional.
I think a little bit messy is like at the baseline of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I'd say as Kingdom Hearts go, this is about as straightforward as you can get.
I mean, the scenes where they recap some of this stuff is just hilarious because of how ridiculous the stuff they're recapping is. And they just like talk about like, oh yes, he went back in time and summoned 13 clones of himself, as it so happens.
Yeah, as one does.
The thing I would say about it is, like, Kingdom Hearts means something to everyone. Like, it means something different to everyone, I should say. Like, I mean, you saw at the start, each of us had wildly different, like, starting points for the series. And, I mean, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 has a lot to satisfy everyone. And that will never be possible to do, because it's interesting, because I've seen some people who say like, oh, I hate the story because the story just like in the Disney worlds feels disconnected from the Kingdom Hearts plot. And then other people say, no, I like that because I hate the Kingdom Hearts plot and I can ignore it because I can just focus on the cutscenes in the Disney world and skip all the other cutscenes. And I've heard some people say, no, Frozen and Tangled, I don't like those worlds, but Pirates of the Caribbean, that's my favorite. And then I've heard other people say, yeah, I would say like there's a lot in this game to satisfy a lot of people, and it will never be like 100% for every single person, but it does a damn good job of trying. And yeah, I can't really fault this game too much. I love this game.
Okay. Actually, I'm going last on the opinions as it goes out. Techno, sorry, I tricked you because I never did my opinion.
He's been fooled.
Yes, he has. I win again.
I fully expect it.
Bamboozled.
Yes. You'll never be able to outsmart Cyrex. Sorry. So, alright. The thing I like about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that it feels like a game that was made with an artistic vision in mind. Even if that artistic vision is just kind of the same one we've seen from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, but it feels like a game that only really Tetsuya Nomura could have ever made. And I hate to compare it back to Final Fantasy 15, but that was a game where I thought literally any game director in the world could have made this thing. Like, it's just nothing is unique or special about this. But Kingdom Hearts 3, it's strange. Like, there's decisions that I don't really understand why they decide to go that way. Like, why are there save points? Who needs save points in 2019?
There's an autosave in the game, so the save points don't even they're meaningless. They're meaningless save points.
There are autosaves? I didn't even
realize. There's an autosave in the game after every area, so the save points are actually meaningless.
Yeah, the save points are for you to enter the bistro and then like save after you've managed to succeed in the egg breaking minigame.
Okay, alright, they're there so when you break your eggs you can go and save yourself, I guess. I didn't do that.
It also, you can save something the orichalcum pus that comes from Moogle Mail.
Okay, I didn't do that either. Where was I? Alright. I guess the thing about Kingdom Hearts... Where? Oh, darn it, you totally blew off whatever I was in. I was like right on the verge of making a point of some kind and I forgot what it was.
Kingdom Hearts is really unique compared to everything else that's out right now, and only Tetsuya Nomura could have made it.
Oh, there we go. That's where I was. Okay. Alright, I try to imagine myself in a Square Enix, like investors meeting, and Nomura comes in and is like, alright, I'm going to make Kingdom Hearts 3. And they're going to be like, alright, what's the buzzwords you got? Video games right now, the things that everyone's are into are open world. This game's not open world. Dark Souls combat. Nope. Floatier than ever. Easier than ever. Not sophisticated in any way. Loot. Nope, there's not really loot in this thing. Massively multiplayer. Nope, it's all single player. So, like, it's just basically ducking all the trends of modern gaming. Like, basically the only games I think Nomura has played in the last 10 years are maybe a Batman game based on Big Hero 6 and Black Flag based on the Pirates of the Caribbean world. That's it. Other than that, this is a game that popped out of the PlayStation 2 and has really, really good-looking PlayStation 4 graphics. And it's probably the best thing that main Square Enix has made since...
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Since Final Fantasy 12, possibly, at this point.
Was that after? Was Final Fantasy 12 after Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yes, it was.
It was after.
Okay, then Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12 where the world ends of us is the last.
Oh no, 14.
I guess like the spin-off games, they might be main Square Enix, but I think those are like a sub-Osaka team or something. But like, you talk mainline Square Enix, they've made nothing that's all that great since 12.
Didn't the Osaka team make Kingdom Hearts 3 as well?
I don't know. I actually don't know who makes what anymore, but this is the one that was made by the main team. I know Birth by Sleep was directed by somebody else. Or Nomura has a director's role, but it was co-directed by somebody else. There's some difference there.
Which is why Birth by Sleep isn't, 90% minigames like Kingdom Hearts 3 is.
Yeah, and it's why that one's really, really hard, and this one isn't.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's... I think it's fine, because, like... So there's this idea where, like, throwback games always have to be, like, NES, 1980s platforming games, right? But, like, what's wrong with a 2005 throwback game? Is there something wrong with that era compared to now? Exactly, right?
If anything, that's the era that game companies are mining the most in remakes and stuff.
Yeah, and
Well,
I
we're
think
getting
it's-
there. Films are doing like 90s nostalgia, then we've got like 10 more years, and then we'll have nothing but PlayStation 2 throwback games.
Okay. We're getting to the PlayStation 1 retro era. So I guess soon
Yeah.
enough we'll have the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox retro era.
Something I do want to talk about is the role of nostalgia in Kingdom Hearts 3 and how that plays on our perceptions of the difficulty of the game and the length of the game. Because one of the common complaints I've heard is that the game is not that long and the game is very easy. I do feel that way, but on the other hand, I was like a stupid 9-year-old kid when I was playing Kingdom Hearts 1. And is it just that there's a lot of quality of life improvements and in both the game and the fact that I'm not a stupid 9-year-old anymore and I don't have to rewatch the Riku cutscene 10 times every time I like die to him? Or are we just better at games now, or is this game actually like really substantially easier and shorter?
It might be a bit of both, actually.
Games.
Oh, what, Techman?
Yeah, I actually played all the Kingdom Hearts games up until Kingdom Hearts 3's release. And I would say that Kingdom Hearts 3 was definitely, I had it a lot easier time with it than I did with number 2 and what little I played of Birth by Sleep. But
Birth by
I
Sleep
do,
is super hard though, so yeah.
Yeah, Birth by Sleep is
that's
legitimately
not, yeah,
hard
I do
at the
think
end.
that's not like knocking Kingdom Hearts 3. That's just that it has made some improvements just to make the game like easier. Like, so for instance, like stuffing, like there was a time in Kingdom Hearts 2 where I threw my controller on the floor and smashed the controller because I was too angry at the Tron section, and stuff like that just isn't in Kingdom Hearts 3. So like it's just like there's a little things that make Kingdom Hearts 3 easier. But
I don't know about
with the point
little
about the
things,
game's
but
length,
there's definitely decisions that have been put into this game that make it easier than the other ones. The super forms have no cost, where in Kingdom Hearts 2 they would have taken all your MP. You don't even have to charge up, really. You just have to get 3 combos, and basically you have final form. You also have Moogle coins, which are in 1+ life, just immediately. And combos are far easier this time. Like, legitimately, you can combo enemy bosses for about a minute straight before they reacted anyway. And this might be my perception, but I kind of thought that the enemies were just less aggressive than they were in previous games. Like, this kind of felt almost Dynasty Warriors-ish, where you could just go through like a whole bunch of normal Heartless and none of them would attack you back.
You like annihilate them with
there
thunder.
is that.
But I'm not saying that lack of difficulty is bad.
No, I think
No, I don't think it is. Like,
the
This
game is
a-
never
I think-
frustrating.
I think I would have liked a little bit more difficulty, particularly in the end, where it feels kind of sad to me that the right to the end you can destroy everything by spamming thunder still.
I had some
think the
trouble
game,
with the final boss, if there's anything like that.
I think the game might have needed one more difficulty level, like the previous games. And I think that would be okay. And they probably will add it in later in a later patch.
well,
Um,
yeah, we're probably gonna get a final mix of this game.
You could just do a level 1 run if you really want more
well,
spice.
no, I guess no, I'm good.
Yeah, you want something between the two, a happy medium.
Yeah, I don't want to. You know, it's there's I want a difference between like the bed of nails and like the soft pillow, like half of a bed of nails
Yeah.
and half a pillow.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, I think the difficulty is a little bit of a criticism of the game. You can give it, but other than that, I really don't have any. I can't think of any other major things, except
I have
Gummy should
one
have stolen
other
the
thing,
game.
but that's a spoiler. This is my main complaint with this game, but I guess we can wait on that one.
Okay, if all our complaints are spoiler related, we can move on to the next section.
are we not allowed to do
Yes.
spoilers?
I think the next section, we kind of compared
I
to Final
thought Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
15 a bit. I guess it's worth remembering that Final Fantasy 15 originally was going to be Nomura's directed game, and then it got passed on to the guy who did Type 0, whose name I'm failing at. What was his name again?
Tabata.
Tabata, yeah. Tabata, who has recently quit Square Enix, taking with him
I
all
like
the Final...
Type 0.
I like Type 0 too, but, like, it's just okay. It's a
Type Zero has like an amazing opening and then just never lives back up to that.
yeah, it's a 4 out of 5 game that, with some tweaks, could have been a 5 out of 5 game, I think. But unfortunately, I guess we'll never get a Type Zero sequel, so they'll never build up on those ideas.
Yeah, probably not.
I want to say also in terms of like what Techno said about having something for everyone, and what Blue said about this feels like a game that Nomura hasn't played any other games that have come out recently. But I almost disagree with that part in that it feels like Nomura has played a lot of PlayStation 2 games and then decided to add something from every one of those. And that kind of bizarre craziness is what I like about Kingdom Hearts. I like the fact that all of the worlds are very, very different. Where they just like decide to throw like random shit at the wall and see what sticks to it. It's like the Toy Story world feels very different to whatever the hell that they were doing in Why Pirates of the Caribbean randomly has like a great pirate game in it. I love that. I don't know why. It's totally inexplicable in like a very Kingdom Hearts way, but we're just collecting crabs now. That's great. Or the fact that San Francisco is like this massive open world which you don't really need to explore, but it's there if you want it. Nomura's just like, here's your playground, enjoy. Even the worlds which are like long corridors, like the Monster Inc. world is basically a really long corridor, but it's like this crazy chase sequence. And it feels fun. It feels great for the storyline. They basically made a world to fit each storyline, and the gameplay and story elements, particularly in the Tangled world, which was one of my favorites, are very well integrated. I think the only one it doesn't really work in, but I appreciate it that they gave a try, and I actually do like the Labyrinth of Ice, is the frozen world, because I'm very confused by why we went up the mountain and got thrown down the mountain like 3 times.
Well, Sora needed to White Knight Elsa is what was happening there.
I'm just salty that they put in Let It Go and they didn't put in some of my favorite Disney songs.
What are your favorite?
I will say that. Yeah, I will say that it's so impressive how like you look at that cutscene and you compare it to the movie's cutscene, and oh my god, it's so close.
Apparently, they used the original Disney model animatronic, or like the digital animatronic. They took like that engine and the character form, and they put them into the game.
Yeah, they used the character models that they like Disney supplied them all the character models for everything, but obviously there's some stuff that they had to rework to get it to like run in the game's real Unreal Engine 4, and so they had to do a bit of
the animation error and Let It Go as well. I was watching very closely.
Yeah, apparently there's a part where hair flips through her shoulder.
Yeah, they fixed that. That.
Yeah, the thing that makes this game kind of a miracle is the fact that Disney animators apparently were like watching every single frame, and you compare it to say what EA has gone through trying to make a Star Wars game with Disney watching over them constantly and them just failing. But here with Kingdom Hearts, they actually managed to pull out a product that I guess matches the Disney aesthetic and the Kingdom Hearts aesthetic in a nice marriage. I would not want to make a Kingdom Hearts game the way it sounds like it was made. Like, it just sounds awful having all that oversight over you. But the results are actually really good and really damn good looking.
I feel like the only level... Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say, like, the Pirates of the Caribbean, which everyone said in Kingdom Hearts 2, oh, that sucks. It doesn't,
it's a terrible level, Kingdom Hearts 2.
It is, yeah.
But in number 3, it works.
That's because it's the underwater level, and the underwater levels are always the best levels.
Yes, I love that. Yeah. Anyway.
You know, yeah, and it's kind of a miracle that Kingdom Hearts, the marriage between Square Enix, which has recently produced Final Fantasy 15, aka Bland McBland game, and Disney, which is responsible for everything that is movie products now, essentially. It doesn't feel like it's focus tested to death. It does not feel like it's a product. It feels like a game.
Yes. That was where I've been trying to get us to, is Final Fantasy 15, which in the last 2 years since that game came out, has it been 3? 2 and a quarter.
Wow, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while since 15 first came out. I've only found myself loathing that game more and more as time has gone by. Like, I think I actively hate it now. But, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, Yuanchosaan said it best, where it feels like a game. It feels like this is a finished idea. But I guess where we should take it now is the thing that is missing. in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Like either works.
Oh yes, Final Fantasy
Okay.
characters. There are 0.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Except
I'm
Moot
going
Goals.
yeah, I'm gonna say why that's like it's like a slight disappointment for me. But basically like the thing with the Final Fantasy cameos is like I know a lot of people can like you replay the old games and be like, oh, why does Cloud need to be here? Or why does Sid have to be the guy in Twilight Town? And like I get that. Like I get that the characters are not like necessary. You can have the game without them. But the thing is, like, that seems to miss the point of why the characters are in. Like, the characters are in for pure fan service, and I don't think that's inherently bad. Because, like, you know, the moments that, like, lots of people have when they're playing Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts is something for everyone. Like, the moments lots of people have when they're like, oh, I get to have Ariel in my party, or, oh, I get to have Simba in. I get to summon Simba, and, like, all these, like the fun moments people have, like reliving their Disney fantasies in a game, like for a lot of people that's really quite fulfilling. But for someone like me, who before I played Kingdom Hearts hated Disney, like we didn't have that. Bit that made me most happy was when like Hades was like I was expecting Hades to produce some boring ass like I don't know whatever kind of like villain from Hercules, which I'd never seen Hercules at the time. And then Auron comes out and I was like, yes! And then I was just so happy. I had this massive grin on my face throughout the rest of it. And Auron's limit breaks are the best thing in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, I was so happy when that happened. Like, and so like moments like that when like you just get that kind of like, you know, the familiarity of seeing the characters that you really like come on screen, like just makes the game more impactful, I would say. So I was like, I get what Nomura says when he's like, oh, we don't really need those characters anymore and the cast is kind of fleshed out, but you forgot the reason why the characters were included in the first place.
I almost don't believe his explanation of why they're there, of just, we don't need them. It feels like a decision that was made somewhere higher up, and I don't understand what it could possibly be. Does anyone have any theories, like, why are Final Fantasy characters not here? And I guess this links also into the recently released Smash Ultimate, which had Cloud in the literally bare minimum. Like, nothing else there.
Explain. I don't know anything about this.
Okay, so Smash Ultimate is this amazing amalgamation of video game history of the last 30 years, where all kinds of companies like Namco and even Konami went and gave all these assets to Nintendo, or just like, go have fun, have cameos from all these characters there. So there's Paz from Metal Gear Solid... Which one's Paz from? Shit. Well, a side Metal Gear character is there. And meanwhile, with Final Fantasy VII, we have Cloud, who's there because he's a previous character, and nothing else. There's no Final Fantasy Spirit characters. There's nothing. There's not even any Final Fantasy music other than the 2 tracks they lent into the last Smash Brothers game. So it just seems like it's a weird period in the series, because you have this, and then you have Kingdom Hearts 3, where there's barely any Final Fantasy. Like, what is going on around here anymore?
It's very interesting because Final Fantasy XIV has just finished its raid series that's based on Final Fantasy Tactics and 12. And the next one's, and the other raid series is kind of based on Final Fantasy V. And the next one that's just been announced is based on Nier Automata, and has the director for Nier Automata designing it, which is going to be interesting. So it doesn't seem like there's an issue so much with cross-Square Enix things. I don't know what's going on then. It doesn't sound like it. If Yoshida is allowed to do it, I don't know why the other directors are not allowed to do it. And so we've had Final Fantasy 15 and 13 and 11 events as well into FF14, so it doesn't feel like anything's changed from this perspective.
I guess it's worth mentioning that Dissidia NT also exists. Just quickly. Scathe, you can go now.
I think Nomura might just be bored of Final Fantasy, to be honest. I think that spending like all those years in development versus hell, and you can see that he's annoyed by Versus Hell because
Yes,
of
he is.
Baron Rex
He's
in this
very
game.
much so.
By this verse, and then he's like immediately pulled from Kingdom Hearts 3 as soon as it's done, and will be dumped into Final Fantasy VII Remake hell. I think Nomura is probably pretty tired of Final Fantasy characters at this point. He doesn't want them anymore. I think it really is just a Nomura decision where he's like, I would rather not have anything to do with them anymore. Like Kingdom Hearts is like his little baby, and he kind of doesn't want it to be spoiled by these kind of bad Final Fantasy memories that he's having right now.
I want to say also that I feel like the Final Fantasy element isn't like suddenly cut out of Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's like gradually weaned down through the series. And in
That's
a
true
way,
as well.
in the Final Fantasy characters always played a different role to the Disney characters. It wasn't really a Final Fantasy world. I mean, I guess Hollow Bastion, Radiant Guardian is your Final Fantasy world because that's where all the characters seem to be from. And particularly in the first game, they added like the more serious element to it compared to the Disney worlds, which are more childish. And I think originally it was like, yes, it's a Final Fantasy Disney game to crossover so that people can feel less childish for playing a Disney game. Here's the serious backbone. But as Kingdom Hearts developed its own mythos, its like organization and its own like crazy plot, which is just as weird and complex as any Final Fantasy game, then they didn't really need the Final Fantasy characters anymore. So I felt like I didn't really miss them. They felt like replaced because the game didn't need them anymore. It had enough original characters who fulfilled the role of having adult-ish human characters.
They've been basically replaced by the Organization 13 members, basically, at this point. Well, the good Organization 13 members. The ones who aren't evil. Basically the Squall and whatever, and all those characters have been replaced by Zexion and essentially are the replacement of the Final Fantasy characters, which, is not exactly a great trade, but in terms of characterization, but I get the point.
I'd take Zigbar over Squall.
Because
He doesn't have a line
the
in this
moments
game.
I had with Kingdom Hearts 3 that were most emotional were with the other like original Kingdom Hearts characters and seeing their plot threads resolved and seeing like Ventus finally meet Roxas after all those years.
Okay, that's just silly.
Yeah.
They don't even talk. They don't even have like a discussion.
They just stand next to each
They're
other.
like, what the shit? Oh, wait. Sorry, we don't have time to get into this.
They also need to so at the end, the Roxas and Ventus are wearing really similarly colored clothes, and I'm like, guys, don't do this. Wear different colored clothes, have different colored hair, wear a hairpiece. How does anyone know which one they're talking to? Not like this.
Hey, you know how many Rikus there are in this game? There are way too many Rikus in this
There's
game.
three Rikus in this game. I like at one point they're not sure if one of the Rikus is a replica or a time traveler.
Mind you, I really do enjoy watching the credits and looking at how many people share the same voice actor because they're actually the same person.
I think it really sums up the series. I think it sums up the series when that line right there, when there's a Riku, but they're not sure if it's the Riku clone is just a clone or a clone a time traveling clone.
Oh. So I guess my other theory is that maybe Final Fantasy characters are getting held back because Square Enix is making a shit ton of money selling them in Mobage games. Because why would he give you a Cloud here if someone can pay $15,000 to get it in Final Fantasy Brave Exervius? That's right. It's Brave Exervius. That's the name of it.
My final theory to add to that is just that basically with the 7 remake they want to have some big marketing push all at once, and they want everything to all come out at all the same time, and they don't want anything before that. Maybe, who knows?
Okay, I guess we can use
Yeah, I can buy that.
Yeah, we can use the...
I also think how much overlap does the Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy base have now in terms of players who are interested in both of them because Final Fantasy is in Kingdom Hearts as opposed to because you play two similar JRPGs that are released by the same company. I think Nomura probably wants Kingdom Hearts to be more of its own thing and have more of its own feel, and the evolution of it losing Final Fantasy characters kind of matches up with that. And whether he just is I just want Kingdom Hearts to be its own thing so that Square Enix cannot stop forcing me to do Final Fantasy 15 type things.
I think also, just to be honest, I think Final Fantasy is kind of the dumps right now, and it's not necessarily a positive marketing point really to put Final Fantasy characters in a game.
At this point, you got to put Kingdom Hearts characters in Final Fantasy games to boost them up. Sora is
yes,
in
I
the
would do
world
that.
of Final
Kingdom
Fantasy,
Hearts
right?
raid in Final Fantasy 14.
There you go. That's our future. So let's move on to one of the weirder spoilers. Let's put up a spoiler wall. That's
Okay.
I just
Besides
built
the
a
three
From here, there be spoilers.
Yeah,
Besides 3 Rikus, which is like a vague spoiler. But...
yeah. I just built the spoiler wall. That's down.
Okay, we can see.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Verum Rex and the secret ending. Okay. We
It's so
need to
silly.
discuss what the heck is going on there. I think we've mentioned it a few times now, but it seems like Nomura has some feels about things.
Yeah, he just wants to make Final Fantasy Versus finally after like all those years. It's his dream. Or something. I don't know.
It also means more Rikus.
More Rikus? Yeah, he added yet another Riku.
It's true.
Yeah, I think I'd really do like Riku's design, but Riku's kind of got generic JRPG protagonist design problems in this game.
Yeah, but you'll never lose your car keys again.
Yeah. You know, when I first played Kingdom Hearts, I saw a trailer and I thought that Xehanort was grown-up Riku. Just a random bit there.
I'm
So-
surprised that Xehanort did not turn out to be like some sort of time-traveling Sora at some point. I don't know.
Yeah,
They
that
can
was
still
my
do
like
it.
wild theory.
Watch, they still
Yeah, the
do
new
it.
theory is that Master of Masters is time traveling Sora.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I
Can-
guess
can-
that's the
can-
thing.
Also, Zigbar was actually the main villain the whole time or something. I don't know.
He's the Revolver Ocelot of this series.
Clearly. Well, he
Yeah.
even is he literally is the Revolver Ocelot.
Yeah, I was just on another podcast talking about Kingdom Hearts 3, and I used that line, so I can recycle lines now. It's great. Yeah, no, he was behind it all. He was planning it, and I guess back on Verum Rex. Do you think that Nomura is happy about how Final Fantasy 15 came out, or no?
No.
Of course not.
No.
Yeah.
Leading questions.
No.
That's not a leading
He's so
question.
unhappy, and it's really funny.
Objection, leading the witness.
That's not leading the witness. If I said something like, "Do you think that Nomura thinks that Final Fantasy 15 is a pile of soulless garbage that Ubisoft could have made?" Yes or no?
I mean, but that's just an objective truth.
But that was a question, though. And we got to talk about the secret ending. What?
No. Like I do think like he's kind of using Verum Rex as his like way to like make the game that he actually wanted to make, but Square wouldn't let him make it because they tried to force Versus 13 to be on an engine which was the Crystal Tools engine, and that couldn't suit it. And then
It was a mess.
so for 6 years they couldn't develop the game. And then Square turns to him like, "Oh, why haven't you developed this game? You've had 6 years." "No, we're giving it to Tabata now." And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, it's worth pointing out Kingdom Hearts 3 is on Unreal Engine 4 and actually looks in some ways better than Final Fantasy 15, which is crazy because Final Fantasy 15 looks great. So
The game looks amazing.
it's a
Yeah.
damn good-looking game. So Unreal
Can I
Engine
just talk
4.
about
good
the
game.
water effects? Why are the water effects in Kingdom Hearts always really good? Like, even in Kingdom Hearts 1, if you watch the cutscene, you're like, damn, those are some nice water effects for a PlayStation 2 game.
Well, then you look in Engine, and the waves are just like a three-frame GIF.
My one complaint with the Kingdom Hearts 3 graphics is that Goofy in the Monsters Inc. world is like actually this thing of nightmares.
Oh, I love him. I love Goofy in Monsters Inc. world. I sketched him. I have it saved somewhere.
I'm a bit terrified of Donald in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I was gonna
as well.
say-
It's
I was
like
gonna
too
say-
much. It's too much. I have to say, Sora looks like incredibly soft though in like all the FMVs. It's like also slightly too frightening.
I love slightly dirty-faced Sora in Pirates of the Caribbean world. I love how happy
Yeah, the
he
little
is.
roughness helps.
I love how
FMVs,
happy he is
it's a
just to
little
be
bit-
there. Like, he's just like,
The
I'm a
Pirates-
pirate, and I'm happy to be a pirate.
The Pirates of the Caribbean looks really. It might be the best looking world in the game, which is impressive considering in Kingdom Hearts 2 it looks terrible and awful and is a mess.
Well, I mean, 2 console generations will do that for you.
Well, but just in
Kingdom
terms of art
Hearts
style,
Kingdom Hearts 3 has an amazing art direction. I think that really does help in terms of making it feel like a game with a vision. That every world has a separate and really coherent focus of its vision.
Okay.
yeah. Well, Final Fantasy 15 doesn't really have that same sort of art direction. Its art direction is Nevada and trains, which is not as great art
And
direction to be
Venice,
honest.
was it?
And Venice, yeah, there's a
Yeah, in
Venice.
Venice. But looking at how Kingdom Hearts 3 looks, do you have any higher hopes for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has to happen before we get Verum Rex, presumably, or Kingdom Hearts 4?
Higher hopes for it than I did before, just because like this game sold me on Nomura as a director, and like before I did kind of like 1, even though I can't replay it anymore. I loved 2, but I still wasn't sold on Nomura. Now I'm sold on Nomura, like because like the thing is like, I mean, but goddamn does he try?
No,
And
I never
even
really.
then, like.
Yeah, to build off that, I never really believed in Nomura as a true auteur until playing Kingdom Hearts 3. And now, yeah, I can see that now. I respect him more. Techno, you can continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but like, so, and he's not even writing the 7 remake. They've got the original writer back for that. But the gameplay, absolutely solid. So if they're going for that kind of gameplay system with the 7 remake, I can buy that. Like, I mean, I can really buy that because, like, you know, it is a great, like, so if I always saw it as like a little, like a little fusion between like, obviously a Final Fantasy game with like the menu system and everything, but also like a bit of a Disney game in like, it kind of reminds you of like, so they have to put platforming in. So it reminds you of like, you know, that like, that Donald Duck game, which was basically Crash Bandicoot with Donald Duck as the main character. So they've got all the platforming in, so they have to make it a real crossover in that sense. But no, that's a bit of a tangent. But yeah, the gameplay was absolutely solid.
Wait, what Donald Duck game? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Donald Duck game that came out on PS1, and it was basically just a Crash Bandicoot game.
Oh,
like,
all right. I've not heard of that one before now.
Well, let's be honest, Kingdom Hearts 3 is the best Sonic the Hedgehog game ever made.
That could be.
He runs through rings, he's super fast.
I still like Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
He grinds. I mean, come on.
It's the best Superman 64 game ever made.
That's true as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely the best egg cracking game as well.
Cooking Mama.
Like again with Kingdom Hearts 3, as we all said like at the start, like, oh, it's kind of a miracle that this game was ever released. And not only is it a miracle that it was released, but it's a miracle that it was released and was this good. 7 remake, it has a similar story behind it with like, oh, they announced it way too early and only now are we getting it. Well, we haven't got it yet. But yeah, I do have faith.
If the gameplay is this, if the gameplay is like the same, like actually that's makes me much more interested in it than before, because the gameplay is really, if like I just expected to do some sort of shitty Final Fantasy 15 thing, and the Final Fantasy 15 gameplay is like terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's terrible in comparison to Kingdom Hearts 2's gameplay. It's not even close. So, you know, I mean...
I'm just salty because I want more Kingdom Hearts game, and Final Fantasy VII Remake's in the way of more Kingdom Hearts games, so I'll only be happy if it is in fact a secret Kingdom Hearts game. Like, Cloud just like rips off a wig and it's Sora underneath. That's okay.
Or maybe Sora just appears halfway through the game. I'd approve.
You know, this is what I wanted from Final Fantasy 15 in the first place. It was just, let's have Kingdom Hearts combat, but, I don't know, dark 2005 Hot Topic storyline around it.
Yeah, and it was more like not that at all. It was like bad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I still have no faith whatsoever in the Final Fantasy VII remake, and I will never believe that it's going to happen. I'm going to be dark like that, because Hot Topic. Alright, did we go through all of our sections at this point? I guess, for our finale here, because we're nearly running an hour, and who wants to listen to an hour of us talk other than me? Let's go through how many times did you cry while playing Kingdom Hearts 3?
Goes first.
Nobody
I didn't
goes
actually
first.
cry during it. I cried after, but that was because I was really mad at the ending.
Okay.
I did not cry during Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, you haven't finished it
I
yet.
did about.
It's true.
He watched the ending with me, though.
I
I made him watch the ending, and I was like raging.
Okay, you have to tell me. Techno, go first.
Okay, about 5-6 times for me. Like, it was quite a lot. Like, I don't know, I was like really happy, or really just like, I was so sad from what happened on screen. But no, I kind of like, the ending disappointed me, I think for a different reason from Yuan though. Like the ending disappointed me because I didn't like what they did with Xehanort at all. I didn't like how, Xehanort was ended up. They tried to do this weird thing where they have him go out on some sympathetic ending, and I don't like that. That doesn't work. Like I don't get it. Like Xehanort is supposed to be this cold, heartless bastard throughout, and he's supposed to be like a cold, calculating,
But he
manipulating
looks
guy.
like such a
And
trustworthy
then
old
suddenly you
man.
say, "Oh no, he's friends with Master Ericus," so that suddenly, like, no, it should have been like Vanitas, where it's like, yeah, I'm bad, I chose to be bad. Now,
You know
what are you gonna do about it? And then Sora's like, okay, I'll kill you. It should have been like that, but instead they have this weird, like, I don't like that.
Okay.
Like that kind of like knocked him down a few points for me.
All right, I'm really curious why Yuanchosaan was unhappy with the ending, but I just want to refute one thing. I think Xehanort's ending works because you can see that it is once again a cycle of two best friends having a semi-homoerotic relationship, and that's really what Kingdom Hearts is all about. And
It's true, though.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I felt somewhat touched seeing the younger selves and Xehanort without his severe back problem. So.
I mean, also,
Yeah.
can we talk about how beautiful Master Ericus is as a young Master Ericus? He's
They're
like
both
the most-
really beautiful.
he's
But I
like
was not
super
prepared for how beautiful Master Ericus was. I was like, oh my.
I love that Mark Hamill does the Last Jedi thing again.
Yeah.
He's a Jedi ghost once again, saving the world. But Yuanchosaan, I'm dying to know why you were so angry.
I actually, sorry, just about the Master Xehanort thing. I actually really liked that part. I liked the idea that, they were just tired at the end. It's been so long, we're tired. And it made me more curious to see like what Master Xehanort's path is, and I wish they'd done a little bit more with that, especially with the young Xehanort and his feelings of like predestination.
Prequel.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like, there's a book called Pyramids to Terry Pratchett, and in it the like evil advisor's stooped figure is basically doomed to repeat the same cycle over and over and over again. And there's like there's a kind of, he's a terrible person, but there's a kind of sympathy that you get. And I felt the same thing where it's like, it's just been so long. It's time to rest. It's time to say goodbye. And I really like that about the final world as well, that sort of feeling of it is time to say goodbye. I thought it was great. As for why I really hated the ending, I just felt it felt unnecessarily cruel to me. It's been 14 goddamn years. Give Sora and Kairi a happy ending. Everyone else got their happy ending. Everyone else got to evolve further, and it felt totally unnecessary for them. It was very close to a perfect ending. And if you go, it's fun. Kingdom Hearts 3 is like pretty amazing in being able to have wrapped everything up. Everyone's plot threads, or not plot threads, but everyone's character arcs basically got wrapped up, and it's Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 form a really nice arc together. And I feel like they built up this expectation of it being a finale, and it was a finale for everyone else except for the main character. It's like, come on, guys! It gave us like that, and then yanks the rug out from under us totally unnecessarily. I think the ending would have been perfect if both of them had disappeared, and that gives a sense of the adventure being continued without being like assholes about it. I've been following this series, as I said, since I've been about 9 years old, and I'm ready for Sora to take on a new stage of this relationship. They say in the game that the game starts because Kairi disappears, and he's always been chasing her. So if we're going to have a game series where Ventus and Roxas have finally become their own people and can like move on, when Shion is now her own person, Naminé is her own person, can move on, when Riku comes to terms with his trauma, when Riku might have a new relationship with Terra, who's like the Riku of his trilogy, and they can work out their mistakes, when people are unified with their loved ones and are starting new lives together, exploring who they are. But Sora doesn't get that. Sora still has to chase after Kairi, and I was like, I'm ready for Sora and Kairi to work out who they are as people. Maybe they don't get to be a couple because, they've changed now and they don't really know each other, and they've been having like the worst long distance relationship of all time. But I'm ready for them to do something new. And the fact that they did, and then Nomura's like, never mind, it didn't actually happen in the last 3 seconds of the game, that sucks for me.
You know what? I agree completely, except I didn't really expect there to be a final conclusion there. I do absolutely hate everything they did with Kairi in this game. They fridged her. There's no other word for it, and that's a bad decision. Don't fridge your female characters, writers. If you are listening,
I didn't like Kairi before this game, and this didn't change my mind whatsoever. Like, Aqua is the best girl in the series for me.
Yeah, they
I
turned
don't
her.
really like
They
Aqua
turned her
very
into
much.
Luna Freya. Who wants another Luna
She-
Freya?
She gets fridged in this game. Everyone gets all the female characters unfortunately got fridged
And
except
you
for
know all the bits
Rapunzel.
which her and Sora like had together where they were like kind of hesitant and they didn't really know where they're going. I like that, and Kairi seems a little bit more into this relationship than Sora is, honestly. But you know, that's okay. Maybe they can have some tragedy later on. I wasn't expecting a finale, so that's why I was like super pissed when Nora was like, you know what? We actually do get the finale. We do, and then yanks it away in the last 3 seconds. I was like, this is fucking Stephen Moffat all over again. That's what I felt about it. And maybe I'm just not emotionally prepared to wait another 14 years for the continuation. I felt traumatized.
Yeah,
I was angry. I cried because I was angry, not because I was sad.
Oh, one
I'm
other
not
thing
ready.
is I cried 7 times during the course of this game.
I'm not sure I feel about the Axel Kyrie shipping that goes on halfway through the game though. I'm kind of against that.
I was against that too. I would not. I would probably not like this game if that had happened. I'm gonna be.
I'm
honest.
kind of against Axel even having. I could think actually Axel gets stuff in the fridge in this game, and that's actually fine.
It's Axel times Issa, obviously. You know, that's just how that has to be.
Well, it's another homoerotic friendship.
It's
I used to
everywhere.
totally hate Axel because hating Axel is so petty because he has Raiden's voice, and Raiden was my least favorite character in Metal Gear Solid 2. Like, so I hated him for that reason.
Wait, who has
But then,
Raiden's voice?
like that. But
Right.
yeah, so
Axel.
He does.
yeah, Axel.
They have the same voice actor.
Yeah, it's very apparent. But anyway,
Are you shitting
like,
me? How have I never noticed that? I have to look that up.
Did you know that Riku's Japanese voice actor is Light Yagami's voice actor? I'm a big fan.
Okay.
It's also Tamaki Suo's voice actor.
Okay.
So I used to hate Axel, but then that moment in like the ending where Axel stands up to Xemnas and then he says his line and he's like, got it memorized, and I just like I had a massive grin on my face even then, even despite previously disliking this character. So I don't know how he managed to do it, but Nomura redeemed every character for me.
They even redeemed Terra.
Yeah, Terra stopped eating paint chips. For
Yeah,
once in his
Terra had
life.
an awesome recover scene.
I know. That's like the only time Terra's ever been interesting in any game.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting when I played Birth by Sleep for Terra to be my favorite, and he wasn't. Like Aqua became my favorite because like Terra's just annoyingly dumb. But
Okay, guys. What are the top 3 things that you liked about this game, and the thing you least liked about this game, and then the thing that you most want to see added to the game?
Okay, that's a good final category, I think, because we literally could talk about this game for 3 hours straight, and I can't actually sit in the chair that long. My back hurts like Master Xehanort's does. So
It's the start of darkness.
it is the start of darkness. Soon I really will be Cyrex. Okay.
Can you grow a little goatee?
Yeah, probably, but I don't want to. I do have a very round face, so it'd probably work, but I don't like facial hair. I'm gonna be honest. All right, if I'm gonna go because I'm talking, the 3 things I like the most about Kingdom Hearts 3. If I had to pick 3 things, I really like underwater combat. Other people don't like it, but those people are wrong. Number 2, I like that Roxas finally got to go to the beach after so many years of waiting for that. I wept openly when he finally got to the beach. It kind of broke me.
He was ready to do some part-time jobs.
Yes, he was. He didn't have any pretzels, though. That slightly annoyed me, but... number 3, I like that Zigbar turns out to be the real bad guy, which is something I predicted a while ago. And something I don't like is that Kairi got fridged. And what was the last thing, Yuanchosaan? I missed that.
The thing you most want to see added to this game, or where
The
you want
thing
to
I
see
most want to see added is Sephiroth. Because I just like fighting Sephiroth. So just add him. I don't care what corporate reasons you have against doing it. Just throw him in there. Come on.
Let's see. Okay, my top 3 favorite things about this game. I like the horse boss. That's like repeated horses snail, like horse snail boss, where it's like a horse and then there's another horse and there's another horse afterwards. That's just top 10. That's just a top tier boss right there. I love
It's
the
like the pot
anglerfish.
centipede all over again. That's
I
what
love
you
the
like.
pot. The pot centipede is my favorite heartless in the whole series.
That might be my least favorite.
Why do you hate the pot centipede?
He's really
The pot centipede
annoying, and like the way he attacks is just strange. And the same thing with the
He
horse
loves-
one.
I know I love those. They're great. I love them.
Okay, all right. Agree to disagree.
Let's see. The other second favorite thing I like about this game. I like the anglerfish. Anglerfish is really good. The anglerfish boss in the Pirates of the Caribbean room, really great, really top tier. I also, and my third most favorite thing is the scene in the Tangled level where you like help Rapunzel like by doing weird mundane tasks involving animals and like blowing wind. It's like a great part of the gameplay and story that's been integrated together. It's like the most. It makes probably why the Tangled level is my favorite Disney level, even though I've never seen the movie. I actually haven't seen really any of the movies.
You should
that this
watch
game-
Tangled. It's a really good movie.
I think the only movie I've seen in this one is Monsters Inc. and Toy Story. I haven't seen any other movies.
You
in
should
this
watch all of them. I think every movie in this is good, except Hercules. Hercules kind of sucks.
This is great. It's got such a great soundtrack. Anyway,
Game. At this point, I don't need to see Hercules. I've like seen enough Hercules.
You know what? It's worth watching. It's not worth a rewatching. If that makes sense. Techno, you want to go? I can tell.
Wait. No, I'm not done yet. I still got my two.
Oh,
us things.
sorry. Damn, there's so many things.
Yeah. My least favorite thing about the game, probably, I'd say, probably more gummy ships. Why the gummy ship?
Because
I'm
we're
tired
not
of
getting any other Star Fox games. We have to have gummy ships.
I'm tired of gummy ships.
Okay.
And then my thing I would really like to see added to the game, also Sephiroth, a real post game that isn't just mini games. Actually, my least favorite thing about the game was actually I spent just before this podcast started, I spent 30 minutes trying to do the stupid flan bouncing mini game in the
I
San
love the
Fran
flan.
token.
Oh,
In
fuck
the San
that.
Fran token. And that's a
I
0
love
out of
the
10.
flan.
That's a 0 out of 10 for me.
I tried that and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. That's...
I got it. Oh my god. Anyway.
Okay. Techno, it's your turn. You're up to bat.
okay. Sorry, Scathe. I'm gonna completely step over you by saying one of my favorite things about the game was the gummy ship. I love the gummy ship in 3 because I feel like you could spend hours just exploring space with it, and like I feel like this is like so much better than the gummy ships of past games. Like, because the one in 2 was fine, but this one, oh, I love it so much. Yeah, I
will
love the
say it's
gummy
better
ship.
than the one. Obviously, it's better than the 1 and 2 and 1 and 1. I just don't know. I think I just feel like I've
Oh, yeah.
played so many gummy ship levels in my life that I feel visibly growing older every time I play a gummy ship level.
That's fair. I can understand that, but I feel like I could spend hours just playing the gummy ship. Same with like, oh, you could spend hours just playing the pirate level. But yeah, I love the gummy ship. I love everything they did with it. Number 2, I feel like this is like the perfect version of Kingdom Hearts gameplay. So the platforming is actually great. The combat is incredible, and I even like the attractions. I know some people don't like those, and that's fair. But I especially love the Keyblade transformation things. Oh my god, they're so good. And number 3 is the fact that I finally got a Toy Story game that I can be happy with, because like for me, growing up with Toy Story, like that is like the one film that defines my childhood. I watched that millions of times as a kid, and so like I was just so happy I was in this game, and I was just like, yeah, to play with Woody and Buzz in my party, like, yeah, you couldn't have done that better in my opinion.
Toy Story 2
my
game for the
least-
PlayStation 1 is good though, or maybe it was good when I was 5 years old.
Well, I mean, I'm not hating on any of the other past Toy Story games, but they didn't have nearly the same impact on me as this one did.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm really happy I got a Tangled game. I've wanted one of those since I saw that movie.
My least favorite thing about Kingdom Hearts 3 is just the fact that the plot is so complicated, and that's not because I dislike it. It's just that I can't show it to anyone because of the plot. Like I just can't I can't get any of my friends into it
What
because
about
they're gonna
us,
look at
though?
these cutscenes. Well, I love you lot. You lot are great, but I can't get any of my friends who haven't already played the games into these games, and that's disappointing for me. Like it's a game that I can't share with other people, and I'm worried that like as much as I'm happy that Zigbar is the next main villain, I'm worried that number 4 will rest too heavily on people playing the previous games, and I don't want that. I want it to be, now the Xehanort Saga's done, we have a new saga that people can play and follow without needing to brush up on their lore.
Sorry, guys. Kingdom Hearts Key is extremely relevant.
Yep.
That's never going to happen.
Actually, you're going to have to play 7 different games in order to prepare for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Actually, I changed my mind. The worst part of this game is that the mobile game is like super important.
Yeah.
The thing
they need to add to this world. Yeah, thing they need to add to the game is a Moana world. Like, I love that film. That is the best Disney film released in the past, like, few years. By far the best, Dwayne Johnson is in it, and, like, Lin-Manuel wrote the soundtrack, and it's the best soundtrack. Like, it's so much better than the Frozen soundtrack, if you ask me. I want Dwayne Johnson in my party. I want him to come out with You're Welcome. If you can put Let It Go in, you can fucking put You're Welcome in. I
can get why it's not in though. Moana probably came out pretty late in the game's development, and also there's like overlap with Ocean plus Islands with the Pirates of the Caribbean world, but it would make Sora happy, and that's a good reason to do things because Islands.
But yeah, I mean, I want a Moana world. I want to fight Polynesian like demigods, and I want Dwayne Johnson in my party. I want to fight coconut monsters. I want a Moana world, man. I just think that would be like the best thing Kingdom Hearts could ever do, even better than Toy Story for me.
You sold me on the coconut monsters, honestly.
Yeah, I also want Moana.
I'm really just in for the games for the heartless.
Anyway, when this is over, Coda will show you a video of the coconut song in Moana.
Okay.
I've seen the movie. I know exactly what movie.
Oh, you've seen the movie.
Yeah.
And last but not least.
Okay. Things I liked. So I really like the world design. One of the things I like most about Kingdom Hearts was the exploration aspect, and I think they did that quite well in Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm glad it came back after all the corridors that they were. I think all the world design was top notch and is one of the highlights for the game. Second, I really like Sora in this game. I mean, I've always liked Sora, but I think this game has made Sora one of my favorite, or probably my favorite video game character of all time, which is probably evidenced by the fact that after I finished the game, I immediately drew 3 pictures of him. With Sora, I think oh, thank you very much. Sora, I think, got a lot of depth in this game, which helped differentiate him from Ventus and Roxas. I like that he's a cocky little dork. I like the fact that you really got the idea that Sora was making deliberate choices, because Sora kind of acts kind of like, yeah, I'm dumb and easygoing. But I think there are deliberate choices that he makes to pursue this. When Sora gives that little cry after seeing all his friends get wiped out in front of him, and he says basically, friends are my power and I'm nothing without my friends, I was like, holy cow, I feel like I've just seen deep into Sora's psychological issues, which I didn't really realize were there, but it makes sense. And the other moment I really liked was when they were talking to Venetius, and they're like, we know this is not what you are, Venetius, when Venetius is like, I'm darkness and that's cool. And Venetius is like, yeah. And then they said, you've got the choice, Venetius, and he's basically says, why do you think I'm not making a choice? And I like that as a reflection of Sora, that Sora, in the same way, makes a choice to be different and makes a choice to be who he is. And I like that a lot about his character development. He is still a cocky little dork and kind of a derp, though, but he's great. The third thing I most like about Kingdom Hearts, the social media posts are really funny. Okay, this is not my actual answer. That's part of my actual answer. My actual answer is I like how weird the game is, where everything kind of works, but you're just like, why is this in the game? Like the gummy ships. The gummy ships are really good, but why are the gummy ships really good? I love the Pirates of the Caribbean world, and the pirates thing is amazing. It's a game that I love. But why is it in the world? Why is the ingredients in the world? I love the ingredients, but it's just there. Nomura has just made a bunch of totally inexplicable decisions, and I'm just like, okay, I'm alright with this. And I like how bizarre that is. I've already talked about what I dislike the most, which is the ending. But what I want more of can just be summarized by the word more. And I think that's the greatest compliment that I can give for this game, in that everything was good and I just want more of it. I want more worlds. I want more. The platforming was really good. It felt incredibly smooth, but I wanted like more exploration, more challenging exploration to push that to the limits. I wanted more Venices. I wanted more of the characters to return back and have new moments. I wanted to go back to the worlds. Everything about it showed me how much potential there was and how much, and I was satisfied by it, but I kept on wanting more because it was just so good.
And I really want a scene where Ventus and Roxas finally talk to each other and acknowledge that, because, like, seriously.
Yeah, and I want more. I want more social media posts. I want like young Xehanort's angsty live journal feed.
You know, young Xehanort is totally like an alt-right asshole, right? I don't want to read young Xehanort's shit. I've had enough of that.
Kingdom Hearts 3 final mix. What we want is we want a Sephiroth fight. We want a Moana world. That's the most important one. I've decided that's the most important part.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And we want more of the game in general, broadly speaking, and especially more social media posts. So, Nomura, get on that.
Yes. Make us Kingdom Hearts
Even
4 is what we're really asking for. All right. I guess that just about wraps everything up here for tonight and this week. This is a weekly podcast. You may not know that, considering we post one of these about once a year. But it is a weekly podcast.
It happens on weeks.
Yes, it happens on weeks. So, assuming at some point during this year there is something Final Fantasy related to talk about, we will be back. Until then, I guess we'll see you in 2022 when Final Fantasy 16 comes out.
Well, I will see you when Shadowbringers comes out.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we should do that one. Okay.
We're getting the Galayan Empire. You'll be very happy, BlueHighwind. That's where it's set, the
really?
next one.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, have you seen the trailer?
No, I haven't. I also want to do that Nier Automata raid. Okay. Bye, everybody.